Oxidation states of nitrogen family. The general electronic configuration is ns2np3. 2 electrons in s orbital and 3 electrons in p orbital. So to make the p orbital completely filled, it requires 3 electrons. The element requires 3 electrons. So if the element gains 3 electrons, then the oxidation state of that element will be -3. If the element loses 5 electrons, that is from the valence shell, 3 plus 2, 5 electrons it is losing, then the oxidation state of that element will become +5. Therefore, we can say that nitrogen family elements, they exhibit oxidation states from -3 to +5. Group 15 elements, they exhibit oxidation state from -3 to +5. Now the oxidation state can be negative, can be positive also. So let's check that. Now here I have written some compounds. Let's check the oxidation state of the element nitrogen and phosphorus. So in the first compound Ca3N2, that is calcium nitride. So how to calculate the oxidation state of N here? 3. You write calcium, it is 3. So 3 into calcium valence is +2 plus 2 nitrogen, right? So 2x, that is for nitrogen. We don't know the oxidation state, that we need to calculate. No charge is there for this compound. So I'll put it as 0. You calculate this and the x value you get it as -3. Correct? X value you will get it as -3. Similarly, if you calculate the oxidation state of nitrogen in magnesium nitride, you get it as -3. Magnesium bismuthide, you get it as -3. Calculate and check your answer. Now, the oxidation state of nitrogen in hydrazine compound. This is hydrazine compound NH2NH2. So the oxidation state in hydrazine and P2H4, that is diphosphine. If you calculate, you get it as -2. The oxidation state of nitrogen in hydroxylamine is -1. So you can see that these compounds of group number 15 elements, they exhibit negative oxidation state. Now as I told you, down the group when we are moving, bismuth, it is a metal, right? We are moving towards a metal. So bismuth, it is a metal, it will lose electrons and it will get a positive sign. Correct, positive oxidation state. But here in this example, Mg3Bi2, bismuth has an oxidation state of -3. When it is attached to a strong electropositive element, it can have an oxidation state of -3. Down the group, the stability of the +3 oxidation state increases. Why? Because down the group we are moving towards the metal, that is bismuth. Right? And in bismuth, we can see the inert pair effect, because of which the 2 electrons of S cannot take part in the bond formation. Only the 3 electrons of p orbital will form the bonds. So because of this, +3 oxidation state in bismuth, it is stable, and down the group also the stability of +3 oxidation state increases. Let's check the next topic, disproportionation reactions of nitrogen and phosphorus. So disproportionation reaction means in which one substance it gets oxidized and gets reduced. So let's check one example of nitrogen compound. HNO2, that is nitrous acid, it forms nitric acid, nitrogen oxide and water. Balance the equation. So 3 here and 2 NO. Now calculate the oxidation state of nitrogen. So in HNO2, nitrogen, it has an oxidation state of +3. HNO3, it has +5. And over here it is +2. Correct? So you can see here from +3 to +5 it is increasing. So oxidation. Correct? Same way from +3 to +2 the oxidation state is decreasing. So that is reduction. So you can see that in the same reaction nitrogen is getting oxidized and is getting reduced also. Let's check the reaction for phosphorus. So H3PO3, that is phosphorus acid, it gives phosphoric acid H3PO4 and phosphine PH3. Now let's calculate the oxidation state of phosphorus. Before that, I'll just balance the equation. Here it will be 4, here it will be 3. Check the oxidation state. So here for phosphorus it is +3. Here it is +5. Here it is -3. So you can see in this example +3 to +5 increasing oxidation, +3 to -3 decreasing, reducing, correct? So reduction. So these are the examples of disproportionation reaction. So nitrogen and phosphorus undergoes disproportionation reaction, but bismuth does not undergo such type of reaction because of the inert pair effect. So see the questions, children. Nitrogen makes up to 4 bonds. Nitrogen does not show +5 oxidation state. Nitrogen trichloride exists. Nitrogen pentachloride, nitrogen pentafluoride does not exist. Phosphorus trichloride, phosphorus pentachloride exist. Why? So the answer for all the 5 questions is the same. That is, in nitrogen, d orbital is absent. So see the electronic configuration of nitrogen, 1s2, 2s2, 2p3. Let's draw that. The valence shell, 2s and 2p. So 2s, 2 electrons are present. In 2p, 3 electrons are present. Now, to excite the electrons of s orbital or to make it unpaired, d orbital should be present. But after 2p, 2d, d orbital is absent in nitrogen. Moreover, 2d orbital does not exist. So the electrons from the s orbital, they cannot be unpaired and they cannot jump to the higher energy level. So over here in s orbital they are paired up, but in p orbital they are not paired up. Correct? So they can form 3 bonds. So 3 bonds nitrogen can form. Now check this. Suppose if I want to form the bond with fluorine. So the fluorine, the atomic number is 9. Electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2 2p5. Correct? So 2p5. Now let's draw this. The valence shell 2s, 2 electrons, 2p, 5 electrons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Correct? Filling of the orbitals, we are following Hund's rule. So here 1 electron is unpaired. Same way, we will take 3 fluorine atoms. 3 fluorine atoms. So how many unpaired electrons we will get? 3 we will get. Right. So all the 3 electrons of fluorine, it can combine with 1, 1, 1, the 3 electrons of nitrogen. So it will form a bond, that is NF3. Similarly, it will form the bonds with NCl3. Correct? So this is in case of nitrogen. Now let's check the example of phosphorus. Phosphorus, it can form PCl3 and PCl5. So let's check that. Phosphorus, the atomic number is 15. So the electronic configuration 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p3. For the valence shell, let us draw the orbitals. This is for 3s, 2 electrons are present. And for p orbital, 3p, 3 electrons are present. Correct? Now, for the s electrons to get it unpaired or to get excited to the higher energy level, 3d orbital is present in phosphorus. 3d orbital exists. Correct? It will exist also. So you have to excite it. So excited state will be 3s, 1 electron, 3p, 3 electrons, and 1 electron from s orbital. It is excited to 3d orbital. Correct? Now seeing this electrons, you can say that phosphorus can form 3 bonds. If it is not getting excited, it can form 3 bonds. If the electron jumps to the higher energy level, then all are single electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So phosphorus can make 5 bonds also. Same example we will take, correct? That is for chlorine. If phosphorus combines or attaches with chlorine. So chlorine, the atomic number is 17. 1s2, 2s2, 2p6, 3s2, 3p5. Correct? 17. Okay. Now 3p5, 3s2. Valence shell we will draw. So this is for 3s. And this is for 3p5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now how many unpaired electrons are there in chlorine? 1. So if we take 3 chlorine, it can form 3 bonds. So it will form PCl3. If it takes 5 chlorine, each chlorine has 1 lone pair of electrons. So it will bind with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 electrons of phosphorus. So it will form PCl5. So phosphorus can form PCl3, PCl5, but nitrogen can form NCl3, NF3. So nitrogen can make up to 4 bonds. So let's see this. Take an example of ammonia, NH3, and nitrogen, it has a lone pair of electron. H plus species we are taking. So H plus and this lone pair of electron, it will form a bond over here. So it forms NH4 plus ion, which is called as the ammonium ion. Here the bond I have drawn in the arrow form because nitrogen alone it is giving off the electrons and forming the bond. So nitrogen is called as the electron donor, H plus is called as the electron acceptor, and such a bond is called as a coordinate bond or dative bond.